Hey, what's up, everybody on YouTube? This is the Ant-Man channel. Welcome, I am your host, Ant-Man, and I've got an article in front of me from ChristianPost.com under the column of CP Opinion. This particular article is by Eric Medixis. He's a Christian Post contributor, and this was on February 3rd, 2016 when they pulled this one up. I've been saving it for a good occasion. So, archaeologists find Pool of Siloam confirm Gospel of John accurate. So, let's see what this is all about, because this is interesting. I was just looking at a really cool map, and it's in here, by the way, and I'm not getting paid to promote this. I just want to tell you this is a cool resource. It is the Reformation Study Bible and English Standard Version by R.C. Sproul, general editor. Amazing. They have some colored maps in the back that are amazing. I've never seen anything like that. And I was looking at Jerusalem in the New Testament times, and it would point to where the Pool of Siloam is. It'd be like, hey, Jesus healed a blind man here once. Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. So yeah, the picture here is an ultra-Orthodox Jewish man bathes in the Siloam pool in the East Jerusalem neighborhood of Silwan. October 23rd, 2009. The pool standing today dates the Byzantine era and is located at the site where Christians believe that Jesus instructed a blind man to wash, granting him sight. See, I don't make stuff up, you guys. I mean, I'm just not that smart. So, for years, some scholars have doubted the historical accuracy of the fourth gospel, but a dip in the pool of Siloam will cure that. So, I got a picture here of Eric Medixis, is an evangelical speaker and best-selling author. Look at him. Okay, the Gospel of John chapter 9 tells the story of Jesus' healing of a man born blind. After telling his disciples that the man's blindness had nothing to do with either the man's sins or those of his parents, Jesus applied mud to the man's eyes and told him to wash it off at the pool of Siloam. Since at least the 5th century, Christians had identified a spot in Jerusalem as the Pool of Siloam and the site of the miracle, but it was not until a decade ago that archaeologists found what they are certain is the ancient Pool of Siloam. Like so many such finds, it was almost by accident. During construction work to repair a water pipe near the Temple Mount, Israeli archaeologists Ronnie Reich and Eli Shukran found 2 ancient stone steps. According to the Biblical the Archaeology Review, further excavation revealed that they were part of a monumental pool from the Second Temple period, the period in which Jesus lived. The pool was trapezoidal in shape and 225 feet long. The Gospel of John isn't the only book of the Bible being archaeologically verified in the immediate area. As the review tells readers, the origins of the Siloam pool reach back even further in history, at least 7 centuries before the time of Jesus. The pool was part of the preparations that King Hezekiah, the subject of a recent breakpoint, made in anticipation of a siege by King Sennacherib of Assyria. According to 2 Chronicles 32, it was Hezekiah who blocked the upper outlet of the Gihon spring and channeled the water down to the west side of the city of David. I'm serious. Go look at one of these colored maps, and it paints such a beautiful picture for you, vividly in your mind, to be able to see this stuff in your mind, in your mind's eye when you're reading about it. It's really amazing because you'll see the location of all these things correlating with one another and all this, and you'll understand it a little better because of the location and whatnot, the geological location. So, while the existence of such a tunnel has been known since the late 19th century, many scholars were hesitant to associate it with the one mentioned in in 2 Chronicles. Reich's and Sukran's extensive excavation of the area has led them to conclude that the account in 2 Chronicles attributing it to Hezekiah is in fact correct. Man, do we need more evidence? I'm serious. According to an inscription in one of the tunnels called the Siloam inscription, 2 teams dug in opposite directions, one from the north and the other from the south, and met in the middle. The result was a reliable source of water that enabled Judah to withstand the Assyrian siege. The story about the discovery of the Pool of Siloam also highlights the growing scholarly anticipation for the historical qualities of the fourth gospel. Traditionally, more liberal scholars not only discounted the historicity of the Gospel of John, they blamed it, at least in part, for the rise of anti-Semitism. They pointed to the repeated use of the phrase, the Jews, trigger word. You know what's funny is that, like, when the Passion of the Christ came out, remember by Mel Gibson, remember all of the crybaby, all of the fake, people trying to shed crocodile tears for people they hate anyway? Because don't people nowadays, they have everything bad to say about Jews like they do about Christians, but you make a movie called Passion of the Christ and you depict what actually happened historically in the book in accurate form in the movie. Now you're blaming Jews for what? Okay, idiot, for lack of a better term. Go read the Bible and tell me what that tells you. It tells you pretty much plain in black and white, they killed him. His own people killed him. So, because he was against the grain, he was against the tradition of man-made, legalism and all of the pretentiousness of the Pharisees and them loving preeminence, knowing that their priestly order and their authority was going to be taken away. They blasphemed the Holy Spirit by going against Jesus Christ, knowing he was the Son of God through all of his miracles, through all of his words, through all of the ways that he was and all the things that he did concerning himself, meaning that, if you see a whole bunch of people following somebody and worshiping him and seeing all these like things correlating and it's just, they knew who he was and they still did it, you guys. There isn't any obscurity there. That's just how it is. And to say that I'm hateful because of that being a fact and I just pointed out is kind of retarded and ignorant. So sorry, it doesn't fly with me. So if you're triggered, I'm sorry, but you probably don't even care about them anyway. So why do you even pretend to care? Because you want to have the moral high ground. You want to have moral superiority over me, and then be a civil rights activist all of a sudden. I don't know. You people today sometimes are hilarious, but I'll pray for you if that's you. Let's see the story about the discovery of the Pool of Siloam. So, but as Pope Benedict the 15th wrote in Jesus of Nazareth, the Gospel of John rests on extraordinarily precise knowledge of times and places, and so can only have been produced by someone who had an excellent first-hand knowledge of Palestine at the time of Jesus. What's more, it's become clear that the Gospel thinks and argues entirely in terms of the Old Testament, and that its whole way of arguing is deeply rooted in the Judaism of Jesus' time. The point is that it's become increasingly clear that the default scholarly position of disbelieving the Bible because it is the Bible is untenable. Of course, Christians should already know that, but it's still gratifying to see that other people are able to see it as well, even if they have to go to the Pool of Siloam to do it. I don't know, man. If you've seen my channel for a while, I like to link and I like to put together how the Bible's consistent with archaeology. The Bible's written in historical narrative from Genesis to like Chronicles, or it goes for a while. It's a long portion of the Bible is written in historical narrative, and just like any other book that was meant to be written like that, it's meant to be read like that. And essential reading is when you read and put yourself into the patriarchs of all of the faith. When you put yourself in their shoes, you know what I mean? Even Esau's shoes, or King Saul's shoes, or Judah's shoes. If you're looking behind Jesus' shoulder all the time, you're not seeing things from a clear perspective of how the Bible tries to communicate to you. Sometimes we're the Pharisees. But anyway, you guys keep it humble, keep it honest and sincere, and in love with one another. Be in the Lord, and He will guard your mind and heart. You know what I mean? And He will never forget you, no matter how much we forget about Him and all of our distractedness and busyness of life, right? Love you guys and have a great one. God bless.